Okay, I'm back. I had to turn the pots off and to go do something with my husband. So I just covered it to keep them as warm as possible. And now I'm going to turn them back on because they weren't done cooking. But I wanted the heat to stay there. I didn't want them to go ahead and start solidifying, you know, and getting hard. So, but you can see it looks nicely. I actually think this one's done. Nice and creamy. And that's pretty, really pretty soap. So this is the goat's milk soap. And it does have oatmeal, and I did talk to the customer that wanted this one, and she wants oatmeal milk and honey. So I'm gonna get that. I figured out of curiosity, I want to test it. Just kind of see how we're looking. These are the Finalizing or something. It's the word's gone off of it, but it's Phenolphe. I think, I'm not sure the rest of it. It's a solution that checks for active lye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a little bit, and it doesn't take much. And I'm going to just pop a little ball in there like that. I'm going to make sure you can see me. Okay. And then I'm going to take the solution. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do 5 drops of the solution on there. And give it just a second. And then what I like to kind of do is just kind of smash it around so that the solution can get all up in there. And then I look at this. It doesn't appear to have any pink, but I like to flip it over. And if you flip it over on the back, and I don't know if you can tell from the video, but there's no pink at all. Okay, now I will say this, I do like to kind of let it sit for a few minutes and then just make sure that it doesn't turn pink, because sometimes it will. Now be careful where you sit it, because if you sit it somewhere that there's been some lye, it will get onto the napkin and it will cause it to turn pink. So this is actually ready. I love making the soap because of the milk actually pushes it through the process a lot quicker than without the milk. Okay. All right. So that is the oatmeal. That is the goat's milk oatmeal soap, and I'm going to do the video on the other soap that I have cooking here, and then I'm gonna bring you back for that one. Okay, I had to stop for a few minutes, well, for quite a while, so I had to go somewhere with my husband. So I covered the soaps up and turned them off. Now, I've turned it back on, and you can see it's getting a little crusty on the top. But you can see underneath, it's nice and moist. So all I have to do is push that back down in there, and it will heat back up and soften back up. And it'll go right back into the process. Now, this soap looks like it's done because I've lost all the creamy look. Now it's got a Vaseline-y look, and I don't know if you can really see that, but it's a Vaseline type look instead of a creamy, even though it looks creamy, more of a milky, white, creamy look. This has lost that, so I'm thinking it's ready. And this is, again, is the peppermint eucalyptus. I feel like I have to say that every time to remind you, but I keep forgetting. It's going to be in the video, so it's going to just be one segment after another, because I bounce back and forth when I'm video from one thing to another. And I feel like I need to remind you, but really I don't. Okay, so I'm going to test this. Put a couple drops of, the solution, and I'll wash that off. Put a couple drops of the solution on there, and I'm going to smash it around. Okay, now I'll go ahead and tell you I know that what I'm noticing is the oatmeal has a pink look to it. So, I don't think this one's really ready. Okay, I'm going to let this one cook a little longer because the soap looks like it's not pink, but the oatmeal looks like it might have some active lye still in it, and I definitely don't want that. So, this is going to go back into cook mode, and I'm just going to give it a stir. It's not going to cook much longer though. Basically through. Just let it cook a little bit longer, and then we'll be ready. I'll be ready to move forward. So we'll put the lid back on that. I have it back on low, and I'm going to clean this lid off, and then I'll bring you back when it cooks for about 30 more minutes. Okay, I've decided that this one, it's only been just a couple minutes since I said I would be back, but there is no pink at all anywhere on that. Even when I peeled the soap wad off, there's none on the bottom either. So this soap's actually ready. So I'm going to go ahead and put my super fats in so to let them melt down before I start letting it cool back off some more. So I'm going to actually turn it off. I keep my super fats in jars pre-measured so that I don't have to do that when I am when I'm actually doing the soap. It just makes it easier. And you can use any kind of super fats you want. This is actually some coconut oil, olive oil, shea butter, cocoa butter, vitamin E, glycerin, and I actually added in some beeswax. Something I'm just kind of playing around with. So we'll see how that affects the soap. And alright, so now what I do is I just get out everything I can out of here. And nothing goes in here but oils for the soap. So what I do is I just put the lid right back on it, and it goes right back in the cabinet, and when all of these are empty, I just fill them up again. But that's another video I've done. If you care to look that up, it's in one of my Soap Talk Tuesdays. I talk about how I do that for my essential oil blends, for my super fats, and how I do that for my oils. That my recipe's already mixed together. All I do is pour it in the pot. So there we have it. I'm gonna give that time for those ingredients to melt. And actually, I think I'll keep it on low for just a few minutes to make sure that beeswax is going to melt. Okay. Alright, there we go. Now what I'll do in the meantime, and I am using oatmeal milk and honey fragrance oil for this because that is what the customer has asked for. So I'm all about pleasing the customer, so this one will be the fragrance oil of oatmeal milk and honey. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and get my mold ready. And setting up my mold is really simple. Just have the mold like this ready to go. There's no cleaning necessary for the mold. And I take one of my strips of the shelving paper, it's not paper but plastic. I take an end to it, stick it on the end, just get it kind of down in there. Take another end, and I'm going to leave those other ones there because I'm going to use them in a minute for some more soap. Put it on the other end. And I know you really can't see that. But And then I take this one and bend it, and you can see it already has the fold kind of in it where I've been using it over and over. But if you're using it to begin with, you kind of have to take your fingernail and do the molding, the crease in it like that. But once you use it enough, you don't really have to do it. Okay, so there, my mold's ready to go. Just set it back there, and it's waiting on the soap for me to feel like it's kind of ready. And I'm gonna have to look up how much I use of this, because like I said, I don't, only time I use this is when I have an order. And it does contain vanilla, so it does make the soap go a little darker, which I don't care for. But so the color of the soap will darken because it contains vanilla. Anything with the vanilla in it makes the soap darken, unless maybe if it's a certain kind, I'm not sure. But that's what I see happening all the time. So I'm going to look that up, and I'll bring you back when I'm ready to mix that in and pour this soap. Okay, the soap is ready. Everything's melted. I did stir it. I forgot to turn the video back on. But when I checked the temperature, it's running around 160. So that's right where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and measure out my essential oil. Put that down where you can see a little. Okay. I don't want anything touching the scale. I haven't tared it out to 0. I'm going to put 3 ounces. Okay. Works good. 3 ounces exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in, and I'm going to move that because as sure as it drops on that tile floor, it will break. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly pour it in. And I usually always just make sure I get all that good stuff out. Okay. There we go. And then I'm going to put the bowl aside for, I'll use the same bowl with the other. Alright, I'm just going to carefully stir it in, get the mold out of the way. You can see it has like a shiny look. You want to stir it until the shiny look's gone. And then you know that it's, all of it is actually mixed in and it's not just kind of floating on top or laying on top. And I'm going to speed this up a little. Just keep making sure that I'm getting the edges and the bottom, because you don't want to end up with pockets of soap that don't have any fragrance in it or any essential oils if you were using essential oils. Alright, so I think that's got it. And this soap, like I said, is for a friend of mine back home. She contacted me and wanted this soap, so this is for her. So maybe I'll let her watch the video. Point her to the video so she can watch the video if she would like. Alright. So I'm done with that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 2 old towels, and what I do is I put one on my hip so that the soap won't burn my hip, and then I put the other one, I actually hold the pot. Put this over here. Make sure that you can kind of see what I'm doing. You're not going to really be able to see everything, but I'm going to turn the pot off. Pull this out.
Where's Daddy?
Where's Daddy? I don't know. He's in there somewhere. Did you look in the bedroom? You might be on the computer. Close the door back for Mommy. Thank you. Alright, and then what I do is, like I said, I hold one side of the pot. Just make sure you don't drop it. One side of the pot with my rag. Is he in there? And the other side, Are they finished what they're doing?
I've been doing it. I've been watching my iPad.
I know you have. Let Mommy finish the video and then I'll be in there, okay? Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Can they play with me?
Yeah, just a second. Ask them if they're through what they're supposed to be doing.
Okay.
Alright, so what I do is I just kind of lean. Now some people spoon and that's fine. Close the door. That's fine if you have to just spoon, because the pot is kind of heavy and I guess it depends on the size pot and, you know, whether you're able to or not. I know there'll come a day when I won't be able to do this because you have to kind of bend, and it's the table, the height of the table too. But anyway, so I just kind of go down and add it, and I just kind of push it down into the corners so that I don't have these holes. And this is really nice and fluid. Now sometimes it's real gloppy, and that's if you've let it go too long or it's dried out more than it should have, because when you're cooking it does evaporate the moisture. So, but then goat's milk soap is really good about doing the process fast. So, and I cannot tell you about times, I really can't, because like I said, I left, I don't even know how long I was gone. At least an hour, and it continued to cook though, because it was in the pot, and I wrapped it up nice so it would hold in the heat. And you saw how fluid it was when I came back, and this is bar soap, so you know it didn't cool down a whole lot. So it did continue to cook, but that's not the way I normally do it. But I'll be honest with you, I think I'm liking. Close the door, please.
Can we go play? She finished.
Are you're both finished with everything? All right, go play in this room. Close the door.
Yeah, let's go play in the room. Not outside.
Children, sorry about that. I forgot what anyway, I'm liking the fact that I was able to cut it off, wrap it up. I didn't really have to worry about it. It didn't burn to the sides of the pot like it does a lot of times when you just continue to cook on low. So this might be something that I accidentally stumbled upon. Now someone else may have already done this. I'm not claiming to have invented something or anything, because that's not what I'm saying. But I know that you can turn off liquid soap. Now I've watched people do that and let it just continue to cook, and then it comes back, because that's something that you're going to make fluid anyway and you don't need to put it in a mold. But I did not know you could do bar soap that way. So I really like the fact that I was able to turn it off. So thinking that's it. What I do is I take this spatula and I scrub out whatever's in there. And I'm going to put that, it's got like a white glob that's a little different color. I'm going to put it in my soap scrap container, and what I do is when I get ready to rebatch soaps, I just rebatch all my little scrapings. And I will probably get a little bit more out of here, but that's good for now. Alright, I set this over out of the way. That was getting a little hot on my stomach, on my hip side, whatever. But I'm done. So what I do is I just take this and I scrape off what I can. Okay. Alright, here we go. Perfect. And then push that down there. If you have a little bow, like a gap on the side, usually it's because it's not laying in the bottom really well. So this, I am gonna turn it over. That's what I do. And I learned this from another soaper. She would just turn it over to get the hot stuff back up top and the dried out one that's cooled down. It's not dried out, it's just cooled down so much that it's hardening. She would just turn it a couple times, and she usually does it twice, and get it under there. And I try to keep it in off of the liner. But now I will say this, I don't fluff it up too much, because when I do that I find that it doesn't want to fit in my bags when it cools down and I'm ready to bag it, which is really aggravating because you're having to pull and tug on the little bags. And I know I need bigger bags, but those bags have always worked for me. But I've always just flattened it and not really did any fancy tops. So what I usually do is just go kind of jiggle it down, make sure it's over the, I hear little feet again, hopefully he's not coming to bother me again. And I did get a new mold, so I think I might found this at a yard sale. No, I didn't, at a thrift store. I think I'm gonna just take a couple spoons off. I want to see how this will look in the mold. So I'm going to dip down and get underneath the bottom where it's nice and hot. I think I'll do one. And this is more of a one you pour in, but that's okay. Alright, I think that'll be enough. And I don't know if I don't know why it's seems to be more, because I use the same recipe, and this one does have the oatmeal. That might explain it. But I do have others I do the oatmeal for, but that might explain why I've been having trouble getting it in my bags, and I really wasn't sure why. So maybe that's, and I'm just going to plop it. I'm going to, I'm not sure if you can see what I'm doing, and you can't. Back you up. I don't really know how to, best way to do that. So I think, just gonna do it kind of like that. Maybe. I think I might do one more to get some more of it out. I bought these molds because I want to experiment more with cold process soap and colors and designs. So when I saw it, I had been wanting one because a lot of people that I see online have them, and I just hadn't ordered one. So this way, and so what I'll do is when I make different soaps, I'll use a variety of molds and see which ones I like best. Okay, and I'm gonna plop it down like that. Set this to the side. Go ahead and quickly get this one done. I didn't plan on doing that. So see, when you do something you're not planning, it kind of gets everything out of whack. So I'm starting to, that in there looks nice, but I am going to bring a little of it down. And I'm playing with this too long. I should have been done, but you see now how it's even. It's kind of just flat, not really flat, bumpy, but even. It's not like jacked up in the top. That's what I kind of need. And I get it back in over my mold. I don't like it to, the liner, sorry. Okay. There we go. This one is ready. I'm just kind of, this is a wood mold, so it's rugged and does exactly what you need it to do. And I'm going to bump it. Perfect. That's ready. And this will make about 20 bars of goat's milk soap. Put it over here out of the way. And I usually wrap it up, so I'm going to go ahead and show you that too. I take an old, it's not old. It's a, looks like a trash bag, but it's a bag that's, stuff came in. I've got soap on it. Okay. Now, I just take the bag and put it across the top. Take my hand and kind of rub it down like that so it's nice and flat. And I make sure it feels the same all the way across, pretty much. That I don't have like jacked up spots. Okay. And then I'm going to take this and lay it across the top. And I'm going to set it over here out of the way. Okay, so there that have it. That is the goat's milk soap. And I will bring you back when I cut it. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. This is Shawn Woodell from Heavenly Soaps and Such. Okay, I just opened the soap and poured in the essential oils. I keep my essential oils mixed in jars like this, and then I just put the jar back in the cabinet and fill it up again, because the only thing I use it for is not essential oils, super fats, I'm sorry. Things like coconut oil, shea butter, cocoa butter, vitamin E, glycerin. This time I am using beeswax, so I'm going to kind of experiment with using that as a super fat. And adding it, see what it adds to the soap. So, I'm mixing this in. And then I have it on low. I'm going to let it cook about 15 more minutes, just long enough for everything to melt together. And then I am going to add my essential oils, which is peppermint and eucalyptus. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and find my sheet of how much I usually add of this. This is not one of my soaps that I make all the time. It's more of a special request soap. So I'm going to go ahead and find that sheet, and then when I'm ready to add that in, I'll bring you back. Okay, I just stirred the soap. And I was going to go ahead and do it, but I think I'm going to test it one more time, because I really need this to be ready when it dries out, cures enough, just a couple days. I don't need to have to wait weeks and weeks to worry about it have an active lye in it. So, yeah, now that I'm liking the looks of that better. Before, the oatmeal was giving off a really, really pink look, but now it's just looking like oatmeal. So, but I will set this to the side just to make sure, and then I'll check it again whenever it's had a chance to sit there for a few minutes, so that I'll know for sure. Alright, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to add 2 tablespoons, and I don't measure this one. I mean, I do measure it. I don't weigh it. Oh, I didn't check my... I just like to kind of see the temperature. 170. Yeah, we're good. Alright. I'm going to go ahead. This is my peppermint. I want 2 peppermint. I just kind of drizzle it around. Alright. And then I want 4 eucalyptus. And I do get my essential oils from New Directions Aromatics. And this one I don't use a whole lot of. Now peppermint I use in just about every soap. So this one I bought with the 16.6, but I usually go with the 33.3 ounce containers, because that's just more savings. So let's go with 4 of these. So 1, And this is the only soap that I use eucalyptus with. 3. Don't ask me why, but this just is. And 4. So peppermint and eucalyptus. Going to give it nice, and I start off slow because it will splash, and you don't want your really good essential oils or fragrance oils for that matter, whatever you're using, they're expensive, so you don't want them to come out everywhere. Alright, so now it's kind of, you can see the shiny look. And I can already feel it's opening up my sinuses, it's clearing my head. It smells good. It smells really, really good. Alright, and I'm going to really work this down in there. Get it up. So I have the essential oils, the super fats I've already put in, mixed together nicely. And I think we're ready. Okay, got it off. Essential oils, put it back up. I'm ready to grab my mold. I grabbed this mold, and this mold has black marks on it, and I did that because I was figuring out where to cut the bars, but because some bars I wanted thicker. Some people they want a bigger bar, and they pay more for it, but they want a bigger bar. And some people don't care. They pay less. They like the idea of paying less for a bar. So it just depends on what the customer. It all works out the same, but it just depends on what the customer wants. And after all, that is the goal, is to please the customer. So I was doing that. I had smaller marks over here and wider marks over there, and now I don't do that at all though. I have one bud cutter, and I use my bud cutter, and it works out great. And I don't worry about the size of it anymore. That's just the size. And I actually went up on my other bars so that I could compensate for that. Alright, take this out. I'm going to put one on my hip, and make sure you can kind of see the mold some. You can. Put one on my hip, one on the end of the pot where my hand's going to be, and then I just pop the pot on my hip. And I try to do it quickly because it will start to burn my side. So I just kind of go down. And I wasn't planning on making soap today. Been at the lake all weekend, but I had 2 customers, like I said, that wanted special order soaps, and I knew I needed to get them done. Because Monday's usually recover day, so I don't usually do soaps on Monday, but you do what you have to do. And this one has the oatmeal too. And I'm doing another video too of another soap. So this one has oatmeal. And the oatmeal gives me too much soap. So what I'm going to do is I just take this and plop it down in there. I hope you can see that. Maybe you can. Yeah. I put it down in there, and I do 2 bars. And I just got this mold, so I haven't used this mold before, and I need a spoon. That's okay. And I do have one right here, so let me grab it. I'll try to drop it down in there and get a little of this out and put it over here. So that's about got what I need. Now this is not like poured cold processed soap that you pour, so I'll do some cleanup on that, but I'm not gonna really worry about that right now. Go ahead and get this. Get it out of here. This little scraper that I got from True Value Hardware works wonderful. We're just scraping out the hot soap, and it gets the pot really clean. And I can finish this up, like I said, once I finish what I'm doing, I can go and finish the pot, finish cleaning the pot. But again, finish this first. Alright, so this I just bang it down a little. I'm going to go ahead and set it over here out of the way. And then I'm going to clean this off. I just kind of Alright, and what I'm going to do is get this back down here because I did scoop some out. I want it to be even. I don't want this to stick up past my mold, and the reason being is that my bags are a certain width, and if I come up over the mold too much, the soap doesn't want to fit into my bags. And then I have to pull on the bags, and then it messes it up, and it makes bagging them harder, and it makes the bags look nasty. And I end up having to throw away bags, and so I said, you know, rather than putting it all in here, I'm just going to take some out, do some little soaps, and I'll sell those soaps. I don't have any trouble. People will love the fact that they're little shapes. And I could adjust my recipe, but I'm so used to just doing it that way. And when I don't add the oatmeal, I don't have this problem. It's that extra cup of oatmeal in the recipe that makes it rise up, because that oatmeal swells up when you wet it. So, alright, so this one's ready. There you have it. There is the peppermint and eucalyptus soap that will go into the cancer bags for a customer that actually is a wonderful, wonderful lady. I actually went to school with her, and she actually had cancer herself, and she wanted these products for herself, but then she said that, you know, the Lord had blessed her so much that she wanted to bless other people. So when she goes for treatments and goes to the doctor, she carries bags to give to the cancer patients that are there. And she said that a lot of those patients don't have anyone. They don't have anybody to help them get the things they need or the care, that they're just by themselves. And so it's really sad. So she does that, so I know the Lord is going to really, really bless her for that. So, alright, there you have it. This is Shawn Woodell from Heavenly Soaps and Such. Please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and please watch the ads. It helps me out, and be on the lookout for the video of me cutting this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.